We can set a schedule right here, so we have multiple options. We also have an automation option, so it's smart enough to know when you leave the home, it can start cleaning for you. Hey everyone, Tech Chef here. Today in this video, we're going to be comparing the iRobot Roomba i3 and i3 Plus with the iRobot Roomba i4 Plus. We did purchase both of these vacuum cleaners on our own, and any opinion expressed in this video is strictly our own. That being said, if you're interested in any of the products you see here, the links will be in the video description. So first up, you might be wondering, well, hey, what's the difference between the i3 and the i3 Plus? Just know that in iRobot's lineup, if you have that plus indicator, that means it can work and come with a self-emptying base. So you have the regular version, the i3, that's just the RoboVac with your standard charger. But if you get the plus version of the i3, the i4, the i6, the i7, the S9, that plus signifies that it's the self-emptying base that's coming with it. So it will be an additional price, but you get the self-emptying base, which is a fantastic feature if you're looking to purchase a RoboVac. Once you use one with that self-emptying base, you will be hard-pressed to ever go back to using one without. So looking at the vacuums from a bird's eye view, you can see to my left, we have the i3. To my right, we have the i4 Plus. They're identical to each other. Check it out. Same sensor, buttons, controls, everything's the same. The only difference up top is our i3 has a slightly darker pattern, whereas the i4 is a lighter vacuum. And on the sides, the only difference is the i4 says iRobot Roomba i4, whereas the i3 says iRobot Roomba i3. This is going to spoil the rest of the video for you guys, but there actually is no difference between these vacuums. So the only difference is the i4 is only available for purchase on Amazon. It's a rebadged version of the i3 just for Amazon to sell, whereas you can get the i3 and the i3 Plus via other retailers online and directly from iRobot. So that's really the only difference. Now let's go ahead and flip them over. So here we go. You can see we got the vacuum cleaners upside down now, and you may notice they look eerily similar. So check it out. Same side brush, same Aeroforce cleaning system. So we have the same dual roller design, and I really like this system. It's superior to like the 692 and the 694 and the 675. And you see the system on the i3, the i4, the i6, and the i7. You also may notice down here, we actually have one difference, but I'll explain that for you. So the i4 Plus, that's the only version you can get of the i4. There is no just regular i4 vacuum, but with the i3, you can buy either the i3 if you just want the vacuum and a charger without the self-emptying base, or you can get the i3 Plus that comes with the self-emptying base. So this is truly the i3 model. And you may notice we don't have self-emptying base support, whereas for the i4 Plus that we bought, this actually has the self-emptying base. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking about the i3 Plus or the i4 Plus, just know that if you buy the i3 Plus, you will get this exact same base right here that supports the self-emptying base. They both fit each other. Everything's swappable. So just keep that in mind. If you buy the i3, it'll look like this. If you buy the i3 Plus, it'll look like this. When you flip it over, they have the same cleaning system and everything else. Now you can see I have the iRobot home app open on our device, and I'm going to show you guys the i4 and the i3 so you guys can see that they're identical to each other. So first up, we're going to go to the i3 settings right here. We're going to connect to the vacuum, and you can see we're ready to vacuum. We have our favorites. We can set a schedule right here, so we have multiple options. We also have an automation option, so it's smart enough to know when you leave the home, it can start cleaning for you. Then you can see we have our history, messages, and some robot settings right here. So we can choose when it's full, what happens. So you can see that. And then we go further down and we have our help section and some beta. So that's the i3. Now let's go to the i4. So here's the i4. So you can see our favorites. We have our schedule. Same thing. We can choose an automation if we want, so it can clean when we're out of the house. Then you can see we have our history. We actually have history populated here and messages right here. And then we can go into the robot settings, and same thing. You may notice it looks eerily similar. And we have our different options and preferences for when the bin is full. You may have noticed the i4, since this is the i4 Plus, you would have the same feature if you had the i3 Plus. We have our about clean base. So we will have the clean base option to empty it when we're using it, and you would get that with the i3 Plus. Lastly, I want to talk about the tech specs and why there's no differences. I personally have not taken these apart to go look at the internal parts and components, but using them both, I've not been able to tell a difference between either vacuum, so I'm led to believe they have the same performance. Why do I think that? Well, one, I know the iRobot Roomba marketing machine would totally be up and running and firing on all cylinders to let us know the differences themselves, but they haven't. And I actually have, you can see right here on the screen, I have a graphic up showing you that they are advertised with the same features. So they both have the premium 3-stage cleaning system, which we looked at. They have 10x suction power versus other Roombas. They both feature neat row navigation. They both have recharge and resume. They both support intelligent navigation. So there's a mapping component, but it's not gonna be as smart as the i6 or the i7 where you can actually tell it where to go, where to clean, not to clean, that sort of thing. So take it for what it is. I personally would recommend, if you're looking at either of these, to try to bump up your price point to get the i6 or the i7. You'll be in much better shape. And no surprise there, the i6 is the same as the i7. The i6 is just the Amazon branded version, so you're kind of seeing a pattern here. Anyways, back to these two. Next up, they both navigate obstacles and stairs, personalized cleaning recommendations. They both connect with your smart home, so they're Wi-Fi capable with your iOS and Android devices. They feature the same tangle-resistant brushes. They both have a high-efficiency filter thanks to the upgraded cleaning system. They both can team up with the BravaJet, and they both can work with a self-emptying base. You can see they advertise them with the exact same features, and there's nothing different between the two. So after all that, where does it leave us? Well, it leaves us with one simple option: buy whatever one's cheaper.